Hey, it's Malachi. I want to share something with you real quickly. I'll make myself a little bit bigger here so you can see my beautifulness. I want to read for you 2 John 1, and the reason why I'm reading this for you, and the reason why I want to talk about it here real quick, is I want people to be very careful, and that is wishing Godspeed to people. Right now, we have a lot of people out there saying, though I don't support them, I wish them well and all this kind of stuff. You're never going to hear that from me in reference to Biden or any of these people, right? And the reason why I'm going to say this, and the reason why I'm going over this, is because it's extremely important. And I get a lot of crap from people for being kind of sharp with people sometimes. And that's because of this, right? Now, I'm going to go 2 John 1:7 because we're going to start at 7 because this is kind of a segment of a aspect of a whole conversation here. For many deceivers are entered into this world who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. So, when people are all running around saying Trump is the antichrist, that's correct, but he's not Satan. The same thing will apply to Joe Biden or any of these people. If they have not confessed that Jesus Christ has come in flesh, Son of God, he is a deceiver and an antichrist. So understand that. But also understand that he is not Satan himself, okay? So that's not the final end-all be-all. So be very careful on that one. So let's go 8. 2 John 1:8. Look to yourselves that we lose not these things which we have wrought, but that we receive a full reward. Meaning, don't forget who Christ is, right? Whoever transgresseth, and abide not in the doctrine of Christ, hath not God. He that abideth in the doctrine of Christ, he has both the Father and the Son. So it's one difficult thing about King James, but the greatest thing about King James is it does what I call I'm going to turn off my fan here. It does what I call Yoda speech. Yoda in Star Wars, he would say things backwards. But when you listen to him, even though how he spoke backwards, it also meant the same thing forward. So the same thing applies to the King James Version. It says things kind of in a backwards way, but it also says the same thing forward. Therefore, it's always truthful in what it says, right? And I know you can get the satanic people, they go, as above, so below, everything's reversed, all this kind of crap. Look, don't try to take what God's created and make it to the benefit of Satan. And this goes to the next verse, is what I'm telling you. Be careful on the people and how you say things to them, and just because they won or whatever, who cares? Great. But you're not going to hear me say, yeah, but I wish the guy well. And that's because of this verse. If there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine, meaning the doctrine that Christ has come in the flesh, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. Did you hear that? Don't bid him Godspeed, dude. Be very careful. For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds. Meaning, if you say, Godspeed, good luck, hey, good luck and good luck to you, you are partaking in that person's evil deeds. So it's best to say nothing at all to these people. Zero. Don't put anything on your social media. Don't tell people, well, I didn't vote for him, but I hope for the best. The best for our country and all this kind of crap. Dude, it's nonsense. We don't even have to do that as Christians. And this is a reason why. If you know your word, when people say this kind of stuff to you, well, do you think it's bad that you're not saying anything nice? Well, he was elected, good for him. Not by me, but good for him. I don't have to say anything. I'm not going to partake in his evil deeds. Yeah, I've had a friend of mine that told me that he's heard that that Trump's confessed with his own mouth that Christ is the Son of God, great. Maybe I've heard it, maybe I haven't. I don't know. I don't think so. If I have, I'd be more so. I did hear one thing one time where he was reading off of something, but I haven't seen never saw anything where he's just kind of talking with somebody, you know. But then again, I don't know the guy. So therefore, I've always had this aspect of, you know, it's because I'm not going to lay praise to somebody or wish them well if they're not a believer in the same belief that I am, in a sense. That if they don't believe that Christ is king and he has come in the flesh, then they're a deceiver and an antichrist. And if I wish them Godspeed or goodwill or any of these things, I'm also partaking in that deception. And I'm actually, because of my position, whether it be within even my own family, but as my position within even the YouTube world, which I'm seeing a lot of people say this is why I'm really irritated right now. It's that they're all wishing somebody well. And I'm thinking, why are you doing that? Well, we have to do it as Christians. No, you don't. God told you not to do that. You just don't say anything. Just be quiet. Just shut your trap. But if you're going to talk, be able to talk with wisdom and understanding and be able to say to somebody, if they say, well, don't you wish them well? And you say, you know, I choose not to answer that, and I'll tell you why. Because 2 John 1 verse 10 tells me not to. I have not heard that this person has confessed Christ as the Son of God, has come in the flesh. So therefore, I can't get behind this person. Now, if somebody comes to me as a brother in Christ and he confesses these things and is repented of his ways and been baptized and so on, right? Then I'll stand behind that guy all the way to the end, man. I have no problem with that. Because we were the same family. We were the same beliefs. We may not be, perfectly, our doctrines don't line up 100%. That's irrelevant. The key is our doctrine lines up with the fact that Christ is the Son of God. He came, he conquered death. On the third day, he rose again. That's why I'm saying, people, I don't know the order I'm going to do these videos. But I said, wait 3 days. Not to say that don't put it in a Christ thing, but there is an aspect of a time of grace. So just hold on with me for a couple days. And even after that, look, I'm not a believer that Trump would really do anything. All I know is visions that I had was that it was almost like what just recently happened. Remember I said I had a dream. I said it was in a city, and I almost thought it was in D.C., to be honest with you. And I said there was these guards, army people, and then there was a chain link fence. And I said there was a building, and I went into a building, and I said something to the police officer or whoever they were, the army men. I said, "Are we expecting something?" And it was like they were expecting a huge riot, right? I'm going to have to go back to that video. I'll have to find it if I can find it. I don't know. It was quite a long time ago. But it was vivid to me. I can even see it right now. I'm walking. It was almost like it was a building on a corner, and I could see out to the city, whatever city it was, and there was military there, and there was all these fences and barbed wire up. And everybody was assuming something was going to happen and take place that night, because it was at nighttime when I had this vision. And but nothing happened. It was like they thought there was going to be a big uproar, but there wasn't. I don't know if any of you remember that vision that I gave you, but I'm going to have to go back and try to find it. I'll try to find it for you. So that's the only reason why I say wait. I'm not saying that miraculously Trump is going to do something, because I don't put my faith in man. I don't. I put my faith in the Almighty. His word is the only thing that's prevailed over the course of these thousands of years, millennium, since time was created. But that's another thing I want people to understand. Don't get suckered in by any circumstance from this point on, since you've heard me tell you this, and go read it yourself and get it into your mind so you understand it, right? And that way you're responsible for your own deeds. But stop getting into this position in life to cower down and say, well, we got to support the guy. Well, we got to get behind the guy. No, you do not. And 2 John tells you that you don't. Because he's a deceiver and an antichrist. And yeah, Trump, because I haven't heard him say that Christ has come in the flesh, is a form of an antichrist spirit. That's why I never got always behind the guy. I've always told you to be careful on this stuff from the very beginning. But I will say this one thing to you as well. Don't think for 1 minute that anything of what I'm saying has changed my mind on what the outcome is on all this stuff. Just to let you know, now that I'm refreshing my memory on the dream, which I've had a lot of dreams, and some I remember and some I don't. And most of the time we don't remember them, but I remember this one still. It's almost like I said, I could see. I don't know if it was DC, but it could have been DC. I think when I even did the video, I said I think it was there was a riot. They thought there was going to be a riot, and I even went to the guy and I says, "You think something's going to happen?" And he says, "Nothing's happening." And that's when I walked into this building, and I walked into this looked into this elevator shaft, and something was in there, and there were people in the building. So the building wasn't even a I think the building was probably under construction or something was going on. And this building did not have the elevator in the elevator shaft. This building had a vacant elevator shaft in the back. So you come through the back, sits on a corner. Maybe I'll have to look at DC. Maybe somebody, well, no one's going to do it. I'll do it. I'll see if I can find something. But anyways, this building sits on its own, has two separate alleyways, probably a fourth. I don't remember that. But I know it sits on a corner, and I know that it has a place where the trucks can pull in the door. And I know that I walked up, the door is on the very end, and I walked up on that, and then I went in the back, and then from there, you could, on that level, you could see that there was a elevator shaft, and it was open. And I went over there, and that's when the dream ended. I went over there. I saw kind of people hanging around there. They looked like they were bums, homeless people maybe. Went back there, looked down the elevator shaft. There was something there, papers or something. I can't remember what it was. But as night falls on DC, it's almost reminds me of that vision. But that's a secondary side note with the fact that please understand and read this for yourself so you understand. Not to give these people Godspeed. Please don't. Because it makes you a partaker in their actions. And for those who for so many people that are running around out there saying Trump was the Antichrist, this guy's Antichrist, Biden's the Antichrist, all these people are aspects of the Antichrist, but do not put them in a position or the power or the level of Satan himself, or you will be deceived. Because Satan has not made his approach and has not made his entrance onto the stage of this world yet. Because trust me, when he does, you will know. And it is not a man by any means. Trust me. Anyways, let's end it with 2 John 1:12. Having many things to write unto you, meaning what he's written into, I will not write with paper and ink, but I trust to come unto you and speak face to face, that your joy may be full. The children of thy elect sister greet thee. Amen. Okay. There you go. That's it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I might have another video. I'll put on another video, but it'll probably be after this one. Or I was mostly just showing you I was looking for property in different places. So maybe I won't even post that. But my comment was, hey, anybody hear of anything interesting happening today? The vast sea of nobody, the vast sea of nothingness, the vast sea of emptiness. The emptiness from outward is the same emptiness is withinward. Do not wish this person well whatsoever, whoever you are, and anybody that you hear that does, you need to sit back and stand back and go. You need to read 2 John 1 verse 10, my friend, and need to take back all the things you said, or from this point on, because you have this knowledge that you may not have had before, make sure you never say that again. Yes, you may come off to be a very sharp asshole from that point on. And trust me, I do. Part of my conversation this morning was me getting kind of upset with Trump and how he acts. And then I had to kind of, they say, well, he just does what he does. And it's like, I had to reflect to them and say, well, I guess I'm different. I guess I'm the guy when I was elected and I went to the capital of the state and I was in there amongst all the other people that were elected in my same positions and heard the person speak and tell everybody how they could do after they said, oh, how great it is or whatever. And then they were telling all of us how we had to abide by these rules, and the rules didn't really make sense. The rules really put up walls between us and the people that voted for us and all this stuff. And they were telling us how we would be sued and how we could be imprisoned and fined and all this kind of crap. I'm the only one out of thousands, I think, that were there. Maybe not thousands, maybe a couple hundred people. Probably at least 500 plus people. I'd have to see how many school board members there are elected in Arkansas, because it was all the elected officials. Anyways, the thing is that I was the only one that stood up out of my chair and said something and said, I think something's wrong with what you're saying, because what you're telling us to do is you're saying that we can no longer have communications with those who entrusted their vote into us to then help them communicate and help their children within the school system. And then I had everybody at my table go like this. Oh my God, is he saying that? Is he really saying? I was like, I've been that way all my life. I was like that way when I worked at Boeing. And when all the guys in the shop would be bitching and moaning about something, and we'd have a meeting, and at the end of the meeting, they'd say, anybody have anything to say? I would say something. As soon as I'd raise my hand or start to say something, everybody would be going, oh my God. And then as soon as we left the meeting, they'd all pat me on the back going, hey, great, It's like, what are you, a bunch of freaking pussies? Pussycats? Like my little pussycat thing? But here's the one thing I'm going to tell. I'm going to end it with this. In my times at Boeing, I'm going to tell you this. Because I stood up, and many times I got crap for it. I ended up, getting a medical retirement in a sense. I still haven't collected. I'll have to collect here in about another 8 years. But I got a medical layoff and retirement package because of what I said. But I will also say this. Because of what I was and who I was and how I stood up, I was in some of the coolest projects that Boeing ever had. Because it wouldn't be at that meeting that the manager would say something to me. It would be later on. He'd call me into his office. He says, we like you. Or, would you like to run a crew? And I say, yeah. And so, you know what? I mean, I started Boeing as a little guy and quickly leading a crew. That means I got paid more. That means I started out as a grade 6 and I'd get upgraded to grade 8. That's how they did it at Boeing. And then at Boeing, because of the union, what would happen is I'd get upgraded as a grade 8, then they would take me off for a day, then they immediately give me another 30-day upgrade, take me off a day, so I did that a lot. So I ended up making more money than anybody. But the only reason why I got that is because I was always the kind of person, like it or not, that would say, that's shit and it stinks and we shouldn't have it here. I know this is vulgar, but at least I haven't dropped any F-bombs in 2021 yet. I don't think. Maybe once. I have put like $1 in my jar. So anyways, so the thing is that to the vast people sometimes they don't necessarily like the fact that you can be blunt. At least they haven't with me. Most people around me, they don't like it. I get it. I understand it. I get it. But the people who could make a change, they didn't always like it either. But in the end, they always came back around because they knew that they can trust me. That I wouldn't be just, putting my nose up their rear end and telling them what they wanted to hear. I would tell them what they needed to hear. Not what they wanted to hear, what they needed to hear. A friend of mine, he wrote a book. I've said this before. He wrote a book once, and I believe I think it was in one book or another book that he's writing. I don't know if I have the book. But it was like this. My character was the character that I think I only had a few lines in it, but the character was that before they met me, the other major character was saying, I need to meet some guy. And they said, okay, we're going to have you meet so-and-so, which was me. And they said, but I got to warn you that he's definitely is the kind of guy that will say the emperor has no clothes, but a small dick. And that was basically to say, this guy doesn't pull any punches, man. So if you're going to ask him a question, you better make sure you know what kind of answer you want, because he's going to tell you point blank, end of story, what the frickin' answer is. And he ain't going to pull any punches, so you better be careful. That was the reasoning behind it. And that's me. And I think he wrote that book 15, 16 years ago. I'll have to call him and ask him. Anyways, Malachi signing out. Church First State. Hug your kids, call your parents. Go see a neighbor, repent, and be baptized. Talk to you later.